The murder of Stephen Lawrence has caused an earthquake for the Metropolitan Police. Because of the failings in that inquiry, police are now very sensitive about other deaths which could have been the result of a racist assault. But one case remains stubbornly hard to resolve. No one knows if it was an accident or not. 2 years ago, Ricky Reel went out drinking with friends in Kingston, Surrey. He was later found drowned in the River Thames. We know there was an altercation between Ricky's friends and two white youths, maybe these two, just before Ricky walked off on his own. But how then did Ricky end up in the river?
Yeah, she said she's going to cover the inquest, yeah.
The police officer told me about this fight, the racial attack, and then decided that there was no cause for concern.
So what were the police doing?
Nothing. Nothing at all. They just left all the investigation to the family.
You know, the police force are a public service, and it doesn't matter what colour your skin is. At the end of the day, you've got to have confidence that if you're in trouble or you need assistance from the police force, who are a public service, you can actually go to them and receive the help for which we're paying. We pay council tax.
Yeah, two screws of that bolts as well. Consultant said this would take them out. On April the 7th, I was riding my bike on Catherine Street. A car pulled up beside me, and an officer come out and they started running over towards me. And he didn't say he was a police officer or nothing. So I just pedalled my bike, carried on pedaling my bike down the road away from him. And as he was running, chasing me, the car was following me as well. And I took a left, took a corner to get away from the car. And as I took the left, I heard the officer say, "Get the bastard." As he said that, the car hit me back tyre on my bicycle, and I fell off. As I fell off, I got straight back up and tried to run to the pavement. But as I went to the pavement, the car just put his foot back down and run me over. They must have been thinking I was a dog or something. Or they were just thinking, or that day, in that police officer's eyes, he wanted to kill me.
Colour means a lot, and you're bound to get stopped being a black male walking down the street. There's a 99% chance that you're going to get stopped, so I just take it in my stride. As long as I know I haven't done nothing, then I ain't got nothing to worry about.
Christopher was a healthy 37-year ex-paratrooper. He'd gone out with his friends one night to a nightclub, seen going in at 20 past 10, coming out at round about 20 past 2 on CCTV. At this point his friend had punched him, he fell and bumped his head. An ambulance was called, he was taken away by paramedics to the hospital where he was treated for superficial head injury and a mouth injury. Christopher was allegedly causing a breach of the peace. At this point he was threatened with CS gas. He was asked to leave by the hospital and come back another day when he was being more responsive. At this point, the police dragged him out of the hospital and threatened him yet again with CS gas. Then they decided to arrest him.
But with the police in the back of the van with him, do you think he was beaten up? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think he were gassed. What I think happened is they'd used CS gas in the back of an airtight van. There was no air in the van, so Christopher fell unconscious. They literally dragged him out, threw him on the floor, and basically totally disrespected this man purely because of the colour of his skin.
When they make the control in the street, car control, look at the way they check black people. They don't do it with white. It's very sad. They don't do that with white people. They always do it with black people. I don't know why they are doing that. I don't know how to explain it. Otherwise, it's very, very wrong. It's too wrong.
He was on his way home from a nightclub when he was stopped by the police for supposedly driving suspiciously. Brian was then apparently intimidating a police officer who then struck out at my brother with the new long-handled batons that had just been introduced across his head, dealt him a blow across the head. He was taken to Kennington Police Station where he was held for 15 hours. The custody officer was not told that Brian had been hit on the head with a baton. He was taken to St Thomas's Hospital. It was immediately ascertained by the casualty officers at St Thomas's that he had a fractured skull. My brother was murdered by 2 police officers.
When any crime is committed, a black person, I'm talking about myself, I, as a victim, felt that I was put on trial. I had to prove that I was the victim, not the perpetrator.
I was treated as if I was the one in trouble, as if I was the one that has done something wrong. As if I shouldn't be asking questions about my brother, as if I should accept everything that they say.
What they fail to realise is that black people in this country are not asking to be treated differently. We're asking to be treated the same.
If people want to kill something, kill racism. Don't kill people. Don't leave mothers like me. We want justice. Justice has no color. And black people are also entitled to justice. Black people should not be treated as second-class citizens. They should get the same level of services like any other people.
In a number of material respects, the police conduct of investigations went badly wrong. With Mr. and Mrs. Lawrence listening, he went on to criticise the delay in the arrest of the principal suspects, who were identified soon.
Provides a blueprint for improved race relations into the next millennium. His biggest challenge will be to change the culture of this vast organisation.
Well, this is a very positive inquiry. Maybe next month, maybe the month after, I'll be back.
And here's back, John Grieve. Intriguing listening back to those reports over the years. They said there were 5 people involved in the killing, 4, 3.
Are the police racist?
Well, we know they are because Sir William Macpherson found us guilty of institutional racism. The crucial question for me is, what are we going to do about it? Well, I think 2 things. One is, you have to get over the mindset that black people are a problem. Black people are not a problem. Black people are just people. Stop and search is a problem. Deaths in custody is a problem. The way we investigate racist crime, if that's disproportionate, if we don't treat people fairly, that is a problem. But black people are not a problem. They are just people.
The police are in a unique situation. If they're of that mindset that they are racist, they're in a position to do something about it.
The police have to do something about it because we have more power than anybody else. And it's very important that we set about changing it.
Would you like those 5 police officers at some point to come to you and to apologise? Or do you just not care about that?
Nothing could bring Christopher back. I'd like to feel that there would be man enough to stand up and say, well, yeah, we did wrong, or we made a mistake. But I don't want them to go about lying just to save the skins. I want for them to dig within themselves morally, to put themselves in the position that me and my family have been in.
Yeah, stand up and apologise. It will never bring Christopher back, but it will give him his dignity. It will show him a bit of respect.
Have the police ever apologised for anything?
Oh, a lot. We apologised, 4 times over the case of Stephen Lawrence. We apologised in the case of Vicky Reel. We apologised in the Menson case. We apologised to the McGowan family in Telford. I would say that we have apologised in the last couple of years, 3 or 4 years, far more than we've ever done before.
My family and I have actually often sat down and spoken about this. And the one thing we said, if those 2 police officers had said, yes, we did stop Brian for whatever reason, there was a confrontation, there was an incident, and he was hit over the top of his head with a police baton, and we are sorry. There's absolutely nothing we could have done. We'd have had to accept it. We'd have had to dealt with our grief. We would have been angry, we would have been upset, but we would have known from day one what had happened, and they would have said in the heat of the moment, this is what happened and we are sorry. And we'd have had to have gone away.
I think it's difficult to apologise because it's interpreted by your detractors as a sign of weakness, both inside and outside, so therefore some people will take advantage of it. However, I think saying sorry is an adult way of behaving. Some of the families that I work with, I think they have been extraordinarily generous in starting again once you've had an apology.
No, I'm a young black youth. I can't just stand down. I've got to stand up for my rights. And I want justice at the end of the day, just like any white person would.
Are you going to get it?
Hopefully. Hopefully. Can't say I'm going to get it, but hopefully.
Can it be resolved?
When the day comes that the police take another life and can stand up and say, hand on heart, yes, we've done this, and yes, we are wrong, send us to prison for this or investigate it fairly, then there may come a time when they're viewed differently by myself and others like me. But until that day comes, no, the suspicion will always be there, because they are the law and they're above the law.